What's up, y'all? It's Kamikaze MMA coming back for another video. Recapping the fight night, the best fight night we got this whole year, baby. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, that was a tough card to watch. I don't know if, it was a fun card, but it was tough. A lot of the picks were weird. Got a lot of them right, weirdly. So we'll start with the opening card, the Gregorio versus Chad Englinger. Unfortunately, I missed this fight. Got to watch it back. The exact opposite of what I thought was going to happen happened. Gregorio just tried to hold Chad against the cage. Chad just beat him in the striking exchanges. Not too much more to say about the fight. Gregorio doesn't look like he's going to be a contender, so that sucks, but it is fine. Thiago Moises with a nasty leg kick TKO. I think I talked about this in my video because I was late, as y'all know, to making it. So I think I already talked about this fight. But yeah, nasty leg kick KOs. I don't think anyone saw that coming. Cool fight though, cool fight. Moving up the card to Jacqueline Amorim versus Corey McKenna. I went to the bathroom. Literally, like, when they were walking out, I went to the bathroom and I got back and it was over. Grappling clinic put on by Jacqueline, but Corey McKenna was beating her in the striking, and she has a super big reach disadvantage. I forgot what the reach disadvantage was, but it was a pretty big reach disadvantage, and she was beating her in the striking. Got taken down, lost. Corey McKenna doesn't look like she knows what she does grappling, but Jacqueline Amorim, I don't know if she could get too many other strawweights to that position. I don't think she could finish many strawweights with an armbar either. It's hard to get armbars in women's MMA. I have very flexible elbow on my right side, but not on my left. But it's hard to get armbars in women's MMA. But congratulations to Jacqueline. Great performance. Now, the Joshua Kalibau versus Danny Silva. I was predicting this fight like right when it started, so I was watching this while I was going over the predictions, and I thought Danny was going to finish him in that first round. And when he didn't, I was watching the fight, and I thought Danny Silva won, but I also picked him, so I thought I was a little biased. Thought they were going to give it to Joshua Kalibau. But Danny Silva gets the decision, which starts me off 1-0. But yeah, great striking from both dudes, honestly. Great performances from both dudes. Danny Silva just had a little bit more grit. That was kind of the story of the fight. But great performance by both dudes. I'd like to see both of them get back in there. They're both names that I'm going to remember and think of. Jafil Fielho versus Odie Osborne. Great fight by Jafil. Another grappling session. Just put on a performance for us. That was a good little fight. Reminded me kind of the Jacqueline, just took a little longer, but it was a good finish. Fucking Chelsea Chandler. Oh, bro, this bitch makes me mad. Oh my gosh. Okay. I didn't know who was gonna win this fight, cause in the second round, I don't know if they did that. They didn't give her the knockdown in the second round. Well, I thought Jose Nunez, like, when she hit her and she fell against the cage, I thought they were going to give her a round, because that was honestly the most memorable thing, besides at the end of round 2 when Chelsea Chandler was going, It's like she's I feel like she's making fun of Nate Diaz, honestly. Like, I don't know, some of the Stockton stuff she does, I feel like she's making fun of Nate Diaz, but whatever. She won the fight. She's a good grappler. I don't know why in her last fight she just didn't... It didn't even look like she tried to grapple in her last fight, but whatever. Terrible one, which puts me 2-1, because Chelsea Chandler won, which was a lock of the pick, so I could say I'm 2-500, because Chelsea Chandler just gave me the biggest loss of the year. Moving up the card. Mike Davis called this fight exactly, weirdly. When I was first watching it and he knocked down Natan and was going for submission, he was looking for the submission, I was like, oh my gosh, how did I call this fight perfectly? He didn't get the submission there. Stood up for round 2. Struck a little bit more. Natan just didn't really want to be in there. And Mike found the submission. But, man. There's another fight on this card that I called exactly too, weirdly. But yeah, Mike Davis gets it done exactly like I said, with winning in the striking and finding that submission. Gerald Mearshart gets the submission on Bryan Barberena. Now, saying they're equal on most parts in the striking and the grappling, which was kind of true in the first round. Gerald's obviously better of a grappler. We knew that, but Bryan did do some good defensive grappling. He's not top level. I mean, that's what it is. I would never have picked Bryan Barberena to win this fight. Gerald was another lock of the card, but it is what it is. Just, man, Bryan maybe should retire. Someone else should retire on this card. We'll get there. But Bryan should maybe retire. It's not great. Looking great for him. All right, moving up. I called this fight perfectly, too. Not perfectly. I thought it was going to be a second or third round submission, but she gets it in the first. And I was looking through the record, and I was literally like, I was just thinking she was going to find a submission. I don't know. Something about just this fight just looked like she was going to find the submission from her striking. Which, the Penny Kanzad girl did not look good. I don't know how she got this fight with Macy again, even though Macy already beat her. Have zero idea how this fight happened. Did not belong in there with Macy at all. But she looked better than her first fight, which, I mean, I'd hope you would. But, yeah, she finds the submission in the first round. That was cool. That felt good. Felt good to see that after the Davis one, too. Christian Rodriguez robbed Isaac Dolgarian. He robbed Isaac. He robbed him. Also, Macy Chiasson. Never mind. Forget what I was going to say. Christian Rodriguez robbed Isaac Dolgarian, okay? What? Bro. When I heard one judge even give it to Christian Rodriguez, much less Christian won the fight. When I heard a judge give it, I was getting Cheeto vibes. I was like, how did this dude get a decision? He got dominated. He got dominated until Isaac had nothing left in the gas tank. How old's Isaac? He got dominated for 2 full rounds. Okay. Isaac Dolgarian's 27. Okay. Now, I'm going to take back some of what I said. Not about him being robbed, but because he got absolutely robbed. I was going to say Isaac Dolgarian's was too young and just gassed out, but he's 27, so maybe he's not. He should have won this fight. Christian Rodriguez needs to be cut. I'm tired of seeing him. I was kind of rooting for him if he could either A, find the finish, or didn't get dominated for 2 rounds. But he got dominated for 2 rounds and got handed a decision. I'm genuinely so upset. I'm way more upset about this one than the Chelsea Chandler one. Because this is a robbery. The Chelsea Chandler one was a close fight. I could see it going either way. It's just a grappler versus striker. This wasn't. This was just a guy who was better at grappling and better at striking, beating someone who was worse at both. But for some reason, because he didn't do anything for the whole fight until the 3rd round, when he saw, not even at the beginning of the 3rd round, when he saw Isaac start to go, how did he not finish Isaac, bro? That needs to be talked about more. How did he not finish Isaac? He was grappling with him, beating him on the grappling for that whole 3rd round. Whenever they'd stand up, and Isaac would have to shoot because he was gonna get knocked out, and Christian just couldn't do anything. Christian would just sprawl and let him sit there, which I get. He was tired too. But, bro, you sat there and did nothing for 2 rounds. You got dominated for 2 rounds. How did he win this fight? He didn't even look good in the 3rd. You could say it's a 10-8, but that's because of how bad Isaac looked. Christian didn't even look good in this fight. Not once. Pissed me off. Genuinely, one of the hardest decisions to ever, look at and be like, huh? How did Christian Rodriguez win this fight? I watched it back, still think he dominated the 2 rounds. I guess I'll have to watch it 5 more times, 6 more times. Leave it in the comments down below how many times, I need to watch the Christian Rodriguez versus Isaac Dulgarian fight to even think that Christian could win more than a round. Also, the first round was a 10-8 for Isaac, and the last round was a 10-8 for Christian, in my opinion. I think it should have been a 29-27 decision for Isaac Dulgarian. That was my scorecard. Stupid fight, stupid decision. Also, I just want to give a shout out to Career Saver 541. Said nailed the Macy fight, LMAFO. And so I just wanted to give him a shout out, So yeah, that was cool. But yeah, no. Moving on to the Ovens St. Preux fight. Called this fight pretty accurately as well. Said Ovens was either gonna find the chin or just had enough in him to get the decision. Man, he gassed out though. I was not seeing that in my brain. But he gassed out. He gassed out pretty bad. I thought he was gonna get finished in that 3rd round. He survived, got the decision. Kennedy looked better. Kennedy looked good. Ovens looked better than his previous performances too. So I think this was a better showing from both of these guys than we've seen in a minute, at least for Ovens. Kennedy, this might have been one of his best performances, which is sad because he's, I just don't see much of a future for him, unfortunately. But moving on, Bryan Battle. I'm not gonna say the other dude's name. He doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve. Christian at least fought for 3 rounds. You know what I'm saying? This other dude that I'm not gonna say his name. Man, I don't know what you were doing in there, bro. You did not want to be in that fight, okay? Bryan Battle beat him up for the 1st round. Looked like an easy Bryan Battle win. The other dude looked like he didn't know what he was doing, even being in there. No skill, no heart, nothing. Barely got eye poked. Also, when they were shouting at each other, he was going, not like this. That made me mad. Not as mad as the Christian Rodriguez decision because Isaac Dulgarian beat him for 2 rounds straight. But this made me mad because Bryan Battle trained the whole thing just to have this dude pussy out. What else can you say? I don't like calling fighters pussies, but bro, what else can you say? Bilal Muhammad, when he quit against Leon Edwards, he couldn't see. The doctor had to stop it because he couldn't open his eye. That is not Bilal's fault. It is not Leon's fault. I'm not mad that fight ended in a draw or no contest or whatever. But oh my gosh, this fight made me mad. This dude did not need to quit. He did not need to. There was still 2 more rounds that this dude could have done. I'm telling you. Anyways, cut that dude from the UFC. I'm not going to say his name. He doesn't deserve anyone to talk about him. So I'm reaching out to other MMA creators and any UFC YouTubers. Please do not talk about him. Talk about Bryan Battle. Put Bryan Battle up. Do not talk about this dude. Okay? If he fights again and he wins, we could start talking about him. Okay? But don't talk about him right now. He doesn't deserve it. Okay? Moving up to the fight that someone needs to retire in, Bryan Barberena and Tai Tuivasa need to retire, okay? And this sucks to say because I like both of them. I'm not a huge fan of Bryan, obviously, but I do like Tai. He's not good though. He's really just not good. He knocked out Derek Lewis, and I honestly just think that's because Derek Lewis is old. Man. Look, who has Tai beat besides Derek Lewis? Greg Hardy? Augusto Sakai? I mean, we knew it was too... Tai's an NPC heavyweight. Alright? Marcin Tybura is still NPC heavyweight. I don't care. Put him against Volkov, Alexander Volkov. That's the next fight to make. In my opinion, I think that's a perfect fight to make. Put him against Alexander Volkov. I think that's a great test to just show everyone that he's an NPC heavyweight and that Tai was just hyped up. Tai caught Derek Lewis with an elbow. Let's not forget that in that fight with Derek Lewis, it looked like he was close to getting KO'd until he landed that elbow. He was getting beat up by Derek Lewis. So let's not forget that. Tai Tuivasa is unfortunately an NPC heavyweight. Fun to watch, though. Unfortunate. But yeah, that's all I can really say about this card. I wanted to talk a little about the Bo Nickel moving to the main card. What? Why? Just why? No one wants to see that. No one's interested in that fight. No one cares, Dana. Take him off the main card, please. Thank you. And then the Alexander Pantoja versus Steve Erceg fight, I think is a great fight. And I'm tired of people just not getting title shots, honestly. Let's just have active champions. Let's have people on 2-fight win streaks, 3-fight win streaks in the UFC, 1-fight win streaks. I don't care. If you're looking good in your performances, give them a title shot. Steve Erceg might get the belt from Pantoja. And I do like Pantoja, but I don't even like Steve Erceg, but I'd rather see Steve Erceg as a champion. And it would be cool. He's young. How old is Steve Erceg? He's 28. He's young. Give him the title shot. Especially in these lighter weight classes, give these people the title shots. You know what I'm saying? Like, the 35 curse is real. Alexander Volkanovski proved that it's real. Can we just have young people as champions? I don't want to see... How old is Pantoja? 33? Pantoja got the belt when he was like 33, 32. I don't want to see someone be a champion for like 2-3 years. I know some people are different, but I think this is just coming from the mindset of a fighter, you know? I want to see someone be a champion. I want to see someone reign, you know? And it's hard to do that in these lower weight classes unless you get the belt early. You know, John Jones got lucky. He's in a higher weight class. And he got the belt when he was 23. How many 23-year-olds in the past, since John Jones got his belt, how many 23-year-olds have been offered a title shot? Much less won the belt. How many 23-year-olds have been offered a title shot? It's good, man. It makes it interesting. That's all I care about. Why? Oh, Muhammad Makai. No one cares, bro. No one cares. Steve Erceg's fun. Okay? He's at least fun. Alexander Pantoja will probably take the fun out of this fight. If anyone. Don't get mad at the UFC for making this fight because Steve Erceg's in it. If anything, make him because Alexander Pantoja's going to just wrestle him for 5 rounds. And I get that. I get if you're upset about that fight, but what happens if he catches Pantoja? What happens if Pantoja catches him? The fight's fun. Let's stop acting like it's not. This card's actually pretty good so far. I know people were like complaining and stuff, but Pantoja's a good champ. Let's give him the shot. Let's give him some people, you know what I'm saying? They're fun fights. I don't know why people are always so upset. The Ribas versus Namajunas fight's going to be fun. Because it has Cameron Simon and Peyton Talbot on it. It's the only fight I'm looking forward to next week. I think this is next week, right? No. Yeah, it's next week. Yeah, this is the only fight I'm looking forward to next week. Which is a little sad to say, to be honest. But yeah. Also, I don't know who I have between Peyton Talbot and Cameron Simon. It's difficult, right? Because one's been in the UFC for 3 fights, I think, and one's been in the UFC fight for 1. Right? 3 fights? 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Called it perfectly. I don't know. I mean, Cameron Simon's really good. He's really good. But Peyton Talbot's a little older. That's the main thing with this, is that if they were both 23, I think I'd choose Cameron Simon. Peyton Talbot's 25. He's a little taller. He's got a way longer reach. His grappling didn't look terrible in his last fight. His striking looked pretty good. Cameron Simon's both looked pretty bad in his last fight. I think he fixed it though. I think I gotta go Cameron Simon. Because I think Christian Rodriguez is just stupid. And I don't take anything. I don't know, because you did get beat by Christian Rodriguez too, which Isaac Dolgarian didn't. But Isaac Dolgarian's also 4 years older than you, 5 years older than you. Toss up. Anyways, y'all, I'm not going to pick someone for this fight right now. I got to go back and watch the regionals for Peyton Talbot. Because I just seen him against Nick Aguirre. I don't really know who Nick Aguirre is. I gotta watch some fights from him. But yeah, well, y'all have a good rest of y'all's weekend. I just didn't want to make a full video on the Steve Erceg or the Bo Nickel thing. Neither are really important to me. The Bo Nickel thing makes me 10 times more upset, though. And it makes me more upset that people are more upset about Steve Erceg being in a Champions fight than Bo Nickel being on a main card. Which, I wouldn't be upset if he was on the main card. If he was fighting for like a #1 contenders or fighting for a contender, he's fighting a contender, I'd be fine. He's fighting Cody Brundage, who literally got one of the luckiest wins I've ever seen in my life. So I'm just not excited for this. If you are excited for this, you're just a Bo Nickel fan, and that's the truth, and that's not bad. No, there's nothing wrong with that, but yeah. Take him off the main card, please. Okay, if he's the main card opener, I'm a little okay with it. I think Sherdog has it, or something, has it where he is the... Hold on. Does the UFC have that? Okay, no, I think they fixed it. I think he's the opener of the main card. Yeah, I don't really care about Alexander Rakic. I don't know why Yuri Prohaska's not on the main card. Or Aljamain Sterling or Calvin Kattar. Or Sadiq Youssef, Diogo Lopez. I mean, all these fights are main card fights besides the Bo Nickel Cody Brundage. Let's be 100% honest. All of these fights are main card fights. Besides the Holly Holm, Kayla Harrison. Besides the Jessica Andrade, Marina Rodriguez. All these fights are main card fights. Besides the Bo Nickel Cody Brundage fight. Which is hilarious. There's 3 fights on this card that do not belong on the main card. And one of them is on the main card. Terrible, terrible, terrible card formatting. Once again from the UFC. Great at everything. Terrible at card formatting. That's the one thing that they need to find a special hire for it. I think they should hire Lucas Tracy, honestly. I think he would line the cards up right with what we want. I'm not big enough to be having this job. Lucas is. That's the only reason I say it. I'm sure not many of y'all got too far, but leave some comments down. Let me know what y'all think. All right. I like hearing feedback. I like getting comments. It's cool. All right. We all have a good weekend, like I was saying. Sorry I dragged this on a little bit. I like ranting on these videos. You know what I'm saying? It's mostly what this is. Y'all have a good night. Peace.